We are live. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the slight delay. He was talking again, and stuff like that. But yeah, we are back. We are going to be talking about how to sell SEO services and answering all your other questions. We are sponsored by the news guide, which is above Chris's head, and the link is below. And we will be answering any questions you guys have got on anything related to SEO. It's not just about how to sell SEO services. That will be the starting topic, but we'll be talking about whatever you guys want to ask. So we have Randy here.
Hi, Randy.
And we have Alex here. And the reason I'm a few minutes late coming on, Randy will understand. Chris was asking all the questions. How are you? What happened? Blah, 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 blah. So he got the full graphic detail. I was talking to Randy about it earlier, but I had a mastermind call at 3 o'clock today. And someone else asked me about what was going on. And I was telling them like the fucking catheter and the fucking, all of the stuff that I told you. And Holly fucking Starks was sitting there and she's like, dude, like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, sorry, Holly. Didn't see you there. So we're all in there talking about cock and things and not in a bad way, but
oh man,
yeah,
funny.
It's not fun.
Holly loved that talk. She's so funny.
But that is why we've not been live for the last few weeks, guys. I was in Poland. 1 minute I'm ready to go live, 1 minute away, and I had to make a decision. I'm like, I can't suffer anymore. I need to go to hospital. So I literally messaged the guy and I'm like, dude, I'm fucked. And I messaged you and I'm like, dude, I'm fucked. I can't do
this.
I'm
not. I'm like, all right.
And I normally wouldn't pull out for anything, mate. Like I would do it in a car. I would do it in a fucking bus stop. I can still come live, but
yeah, easy.
Fucked. And by the way, Polish fucking hospital, Chris. When I was there, this is the one thing I jokingly said to the guy on the way to hospital. I said, thank God it happened in Poland because the NHS, the National Health Service in the UK, sucks.
Right.
And I got there. Now, in the UK, so when I got my catheter put in last week, I'm a big baby. So anyone sticking anything up there, dude, I am not into that.
I believe it.
They numbed that shit. They gave me diazepam. They also gave me this thing. It was like a weed. It was like it fucking makes you like calm and all that stuff.
Right.
I was doped up to my balls to get this thing put in. But see, when they tried to do it in Poland, it was raw dogging. There was no fucking numbing.
Oh.
No one was holding my hand. They were trying to ram this in, dude. And they're like, shut up. And they were holding me down.
Shut up.
Dude, 6 of them were holding me down. They're like, shut up. This is an emergency. We're just going to go in here, boom. And I'm like, stop, you motherfucker. Honestly, man, it was fucking barbaric.
Brutal. Barbaric. Wow.
Dude, I'm not kidding. It was like 6 guys holding me down, trying to force something up there. And I didn't want it.
I did not. Oh, God.
It was not a fun experience. So anyway, at that point, I'm like, please give me the NHS any day of the week. Give me my own National Health Service. So I managed to get out of there and I've been in and out of hospital since because I got the catheter put in last Monday. And then I think last Thursday, the fucking catheter got blocked up. So I couldn't pee again and it was all covered in blood and shit. And oh, dude, it's not fun, man.
Wow.
So,
oh my God.
So that is
I was just like, dude, I'm gonna say you actually made my day, Craig. I was just down on myself and I was like, dude, I'm doing great. I'm sorry for you, Craig.
Dude,
fudge.
If you can pee and you're not having to walk around with a catheter,
yeah,
good, man, you're doing good.
Things go great. I was just like, man, wow.
But
could also, be worse.
I was talking to Randy earlier on, and I was telling him, and I'm like, I'm feeling sorry for myself. I'm like, Randy, they're fucking ramming this in and all that. Oh. Randy told me about a procedure he had years ago, and I'm like, oh my God, Randy, I feel like such a pussy for moaning about what I had. He had it 10 times worse. I'm like, oh, dude. So someone's always doing worse than you. That's all you
It's a
can
fact.
say.
Yeah,
But-
it goes both ways, good and bad. better
Oh.
or worse.
Yeah.
Freaking
yeah,
what could be 10 times worse than Louie, Tommy, Frankie, Johnny holding you down, shoving a catheter in?
oh, dude.
What could be worse?
I
Then
can
you get to the NHS, it's called, and then Sarah's in there and she gives you the bag. She eases it in for you.
Oh god.
Oh God.
It's not.
So the NHS is all right then, huh?
Yeah. To some
Yeah,
degree.
fair enough.
It still wasn't nice. But dude, someone was there holding my hand. They gave me some drugs. You know, they were
Hey,
at
ease.
least
You can ease.
schmoozing me. These guys in Poland were just like, shut up, fucking bang.
Shut up. Give me that hog.
It's like I was a fresh bit of meat, and these guys were just out to play, man. I'm like, no, dude, like, no.
No, take it
This is
easy.
what happened to me in here, man.
Hey, little Craig, take it easy on little Craig.
I was into my office yesterday for the first time. I'm in there and I'm fucking wanting a bit of sympathy. So I'm telling them I'm in there and they're trying to ram it in and all that. And they're like, Craig, you know that people have got kinks that do that like all the time. I'm like, dude, this can be no kink. That cannot be a kink. That was like sadistic. Like, dude, I would have rather got my leg cut off than let someone try that again. And I'm not joking. I ain't joking.
I've only had it one time in my life. I remember the way out hurt. I was like in agony, like for a second, you know?
Yeah.
I remember. I've only once in my life.
Man, not fun.
Wow. This ought to get some views.
Yeah. But anyway, Alex, hello. And Randy says it was quite colourful. Yeah, the conversation when Holly was sitting there and we were going, yeah, ramming it up the old Jap's eye and fucking, I mean, that's what we call it anyway.
Now that's funny. I never heard that before. That's
You've never heard it called the Jap's eye?
No, that's hysterical. Wow.
Oh, dude, come
that's
on,
good.
man. Dude.
Never. That's the first time. That's good.
What do you call it?
Nah, nothing, not fun. Little C.
No, I mean like the slit at the top, man.
I never had a name. It's the Jap's eye now.
Dude, the Jap's
I love it. It's beautiful. That's perfect. It's right on point.
Yes, once.
We just lost 200
sorry,
followers.
yes, once for walking into this. But we're really good now.
Yeah.
Anyway, any questions, please put them there. Please refrain from asking me any more questions about Little C.
Oh, you're funny.
But
oh, God.
dude, and you know the thing is, I was telling my hairdresser this earlier. So the guy was telling me about the operation. He's like, dude, we'll cut about 4 inches down. And I'm like,
that's the whole thing. No.
I said,
you cut the whole thing off.
You'll be going inside me. There's no 4 inches to cut.
Oh my God.
If you're going to circumcise me, there's going to be nothing left.
Especially like force it. Yeah, no way. Jeez.
Fucking terrible, man. I shouldn't laugh, but the fucking joke's on me. It's probably better to laugh at someone else's expense.
Oh, I even knocked my camera loose. Wow, you're fun. It's a good session today.
Dude, it was horrible, man. Horrible. But anyway. I just remember something else is funny. When I was on this mastermind call, right, I'm sitting here and my wife walks past when I'm talking about the Jap's eye, and she hears me talking to a whole bunch of people. She's like, are you really telling all of them that? Are you really telling all that? I'm like, what have I got to hide, man? I'm just telling them the truth here.
These are my friends here. They're gotta let them know.
I've got nothing to hide. But anyway, Yaswanth, how do you pitch rank on AI services? So, Chris, obviously people are now giving it the old, I can get you on the AI overview. I can get this, that, the next thing. Obviously, we know it's achievable. Absolutely, people can do this fairly quickly and fairly easily. It's not pie in the sky. But how are you pitching that to people? Or how would you pitch it to people if you were going to give them?
If I see that this question here for this gentleman here, you're asking how would you pitch it? That tells me that you don't know, you can't cash every objection. If you don't know every single thing in and out and can't answer every question like that, you're not selling anything. So I would completely and fully understand exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it and what's the benefits, what's the drawbacks, what's the pros, what's the cons. I don't pitch it, so I don't have a pitch for you. But if I was going to pitch it, I would know every single element that there is about it. Yeah. That's where I would start. Like, what are you doing exactly? Once you know what you're doing and what the actual end goal is, well, then you'll know how to pitch it.
Yeah.
Like, what's the goal? Why do they want that? What's the benefit? Like, why would they even want that?
Do they actually get traffic from that?
That's the piece.
Because the main thing for any service when you're pitching it is it's supposed to have a return of investment on it, and that is debatable as to how much you're charging against what traffic and how much money they're going to make back on that type of service. And until you know the answer to that, you're screwed. If you said to me, come up to me and said, Craig, I can get you an AI overview, and because you're not there just now, you're missing out on 20,000 hits a month. Dude, if I try that, I'd be going, motherfucker, how?
Start. Yeah.
Do it, because if you can get me an extra 20,000 hits and it's cost effective, I'm all over it.
1,000.
That's how you pitch it. You need to say something along those lines. Chris Palmer would buy it based on that kind of pitch. If someone came to him and said, dude, whether it's AI, whether it's whatever, if he thinks you can do something and it's going to get him an extra X, Y, or Z in terms of traffic or money, he's doing it. He's doing it. So that is how you pitch it. You have to pitch it in that way. Can't you say, I will do this and it provides no value? Show them the value, show them the fucking benefit, and then from there, you have a pitch. And like Chris says, know the ins and outs of it, be able to answer every fucking question. What happens if this? What happens if that?
Yep, you have all the answers. You are they would be doing themselves a disservice by not going with you. And then the other piece is you at the very end there you wrote services. It's not rank on AI. It's what's the result that you will get by ranking with AI. People aren't buying service, they're buying a result. And depending on that result will determine the value, and the value will determine how much I charge. So that's what's the result? You're selling results, not services. Big shift of thought. How much, because no one cares about you or your service or anything. They want to know what's in it for me. The bigger the in it for them is, the more money you will make every time.
That is the bottom line.
Unfortunately, yes. I wish it was just, the days of selling a bookmark service, those are over, my friend. That was good times, though. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
That's a crucial one, though, right? Like, remember that?
No, dude.
$25, doing 10 bookmarks. Oh, jeez. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. But does it actually fucking do anything? Where are these fucking bookmarks?
Yeah, where are they? What are they? They're not even indexed.
Yeah.
So you get the point. Good question, though. But the stuff that's moving fast like that, we know that's the future. But is it the AI or it really is what you're selling? You're making their life easier, making their workflow faster. That's where I'm looking for the AI, because that's sellable. If I can make their life faster and easier and quicker, that's worth money.
Save them money and staff, whatever. There's lots of different angles. Like, you don't need a social media team of 5 people now if you use this, because this will save you money.
Yep. Yeah, I like.
Oh
boy, jeez. So ChatGPT said, "Hello, thank you for your email period. I hope you are doing well. I'm an outreach executive at Blogger Labs. Our company provides next No. That's how I.
Nice question, mate. Nice question.
That's
I
well written.
absolutely love it. You are blocked, my friend.
Dude, he wrote, oh my gosh. This is a
Fucking
live.
yeah.
And with two of the nicest guys in the world. Like, what? Where did you come from, bro?
Fucking unbelievable. Dude, you get pitched everywhere you go. I'm scared to open Instagram. Someone, dear sir, dear
Dear
Craig,
sir. Oh, gosh.
hi. Take a fucking hi. You're like, dude, fucking spit it out.
Yeah. What do you want?
I don't want to know your fucking hi. But anyway,
And I can't speak for Craig, but with me, lead with, here's how I can help you earn or make your life better. We don't, the probability of me even taking 10 seconds to read what you got to pitch is not ever going to happen. Not even a second. It's got to be so fast. I need to know that you're going to help me make money. Yes or no? No? Next.
yeah.
Sorry.
That is it. I know that sounds terrible, but I get people as well. They come in with the whole "How's Charlie" and all that, and you're like, dude,
I don't even know your name.
don't fucking start that crap. Charlie's nothing to do with you. I don't know you. Just see the pitch. Don't come in with that part. But yeah, horrible. But anyway, on to someone
Yes.
who's a decent fella. Our Saul wants to know what a dollar PBN is. Probably something that is very much up Chris Palmer's street. He likes dollar PBNs, I'm sure.
I've sold
And
lots
this
of
is
dollar
much the same.
PBNs.
Have you actually
We're
a
doing
dollar?
them at $1.50 now. You know, I may or may not have a few accounts on Blackout World where we were selling dollar PBNs. Not under the Chris Palmer name, of course, but we've jacked it up to $1.50. But yeah, there's dollar PBNs.
$1.50.
Yeah,
That's
$1.50.
super cheap, dude.
Super cheap. Yep, 500 words, just a guest post. Guest post on the blog that's set up, 200 referring domains, less than 200 outbound links. Yeah, guest post, internal page that rolls off the homepage. Your typical $1.50. It's worth $1.50.
Dude, the fucking content, it must be worth $1.50 alone.
Is it?
Well, maybe not. I don't
It
know.
cost me a tenth of a penny to create it with OpenAI. Is it worth $1.50? You know, everyone see value and cost are two different things.
It depends who you're selling it to.
Right. Now I've seen the same exact thing being sold at $50 a unit.
Yeah.
You know, so value and cost are two different things.
But it's not $1 anymore, Ursula. It's $1.50.
Yeah, but dollar PBN sounds so much better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I can't say the $2.
Dude, we have a fucking shop in the UK, right? It was called the Pound Shop. So anything you went in there was £1.
Yep.
But in this day and age, it's still called the fucking Pound Shop.
But they're $5 now,
Yeah.
$10. They did that at Dollar General. Same thing.
Fucking, you're like,
This is the general of dollar. Everything's $5.
Yeah.
I know.
Like just the youth of today will be like, why is this called the Pound Shop when fuck all is £1? Like,
right.
where did it come
Started
from?
off.
Rebrand.
Yeah, I think I'm old school. I guess I'm old. Like it would be the dollar PBN, but when we relaunched it, there was a show out that was like popular. Like they were like, did you ever see Heisenberg and those guys?
Nah.
You never. It's I'm trying to. It just slipped my mind all of a sudden. But there's Heisenberg and there's Jesse, and they're like working with this guy at the Chicken Shack. It was a really popular show, so we made our PDF file that we submitted for our ordering is based on this. I can't think of the name of it for some reason. Wait 1 second. I have to show you. Heisenberg. What it's called? Here it comes. Breaking Bad.
Oh, I've heard of Breaking Bad.
So when we relaunched, I work with two other guys because I don't want to manage all that extra stuff. When we rebranded it, we did it with Breaking Bad. I have a couple of them up there. I have a couple of them. Yeah, I'm not really cool with one of those mods, so I don't do stuff under Chris anymore.
Well,
so I meet up. Yeah, I've
if
been
the
around.
face doesn't fit, if the face doesn't fit, we just need to use another face, right? So
Or another account that's
Yeah.
aged power members. Yeah. Oh yeah. Been around a long time. I know lots of guys.
Saeed Ali is saying, what outbound channel and method would you suggest
For
selling services? I'm going to make the assumption. Like
well, I see.
LinkedIn works well.
Here's I can only speak from what I've seen and what I know personally and what I do. So we could take the social out of the equation because no matter what, I work with a guy. He does, like Craig just said, LinkedIn, IG works, Facebook works phenomenally, YouTube works phenomenal. But no matter what, there has to be some type of organic anything going on. Once you have an organic hit, like you know what the titles are, you know where it's generating the interest. That's what you utilize to create variations to pump dollars behind. For instance, how to create a homepage, your number one best homepage. Well, in order to create that number one best homepage, there's a list of service, right? That are entwined in that organic piece. So what I found out is you create your organic piece, figure out what gets the best organic reach, and then you create variations of that, same thing, and then you put dollars behind it. That's what works for me. That's what works for pretty much everybody.
Yeah.
So that's what I see. Because how many times have you just created an ad and it's geared towards ad? You'll put it up, pump money behind it, and it doesn't make anything. But then you just shift the intent, shift the angle. Now it's more informational, right? And then you're pumping dollars behind it. So the people that aren't going to buy. But the interest is still there, and then you can. That's the way I would do it, so, my friend. That's my advice.
Robert Thomas is here.
Hello to you.
But keep the questions coming, guys, and we'll get to them on a first come, first served basis.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, Craig. This on the service side, I can't speak for anyone else, but if you're honestly serious about doing the service, you better partner up with somebody that's good at integrations and systems and is good at people management. Because doing the SEO, knowing the SEO, getting the results, everyone thinks that that's the most important, and that's true. But getting the results and doing the SEO is secondary once you scale to systems operations and human being management is very, very hard. So I just want to put that on the
It's not impossible. If not impossible. Fucking human beings, man. Human beings.
Like, and I look, anything that's just me or just me doing something, no stress. Zero. Anytime there's multiple integrations that need to happen or multiple other humans or other brains involved, that's where 80% of my stress comes from service related things. Like you make sure you stand next to somebody that doesn't want to be the mouthpiece, doesn't want to do the marketing. They probably don't even know SEO, but they're good at optimizing systems, doing great with follow-ups, like being that in-between person and making sure everyone's doing what they're supposed to. If I could go back and restart, I would partner up with somebody that's good at those things right there. So that's the hardest part, in my opinion.
Yeah, you need to be left in a room in your own.
Me personally, yes.
And get people to systemize and and I think most SEOs are in the same boat. That we're all a little bit whatever you want to call it.
Social, like I'm cool one-on-one, and I could talk. I'm great at talking. I love talking to people. But like the systems, the integrations, there's a lot of other pieces that no one ever. I don't, at least publicly. Like everyone always sells the sizzle. Oh, 10 grand a month on all these services. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Good luck.
Oh man. But anyway, a question. What's your take on the future of selling backlinks, especially with Google's AI overview becoming more dominant in the search results? Do you see backlinks still being in demand, or should SEO providers start pivoting towards alternative services? What's your thoughts on that, Chris?
Just like everything with marketing, it's not that things stop working, it's just they become less effective. So the foundation of Google has been built on backlinks. I think that's always going to be a factor, being in the link graph. But you know as well as I do, the days of having said site shooting 100 referring domains to a page and then shooting up, no. But do I feel that I need the age? I need some referring domains that are category specific. I still believe that that is 100% a factor. There's no question. And then as far as the AI overview, you're talking about a lot of separate features within search that you're saying, okay, AI overview. But there's lots of things that are generated by AI. You know, like even in maps, like people also search for, people are also interested, right? Like these are all AI, anything with a VED code. So
Yeah.
With that being said, I think it's moving very quickly, but I think the new backlink, in my opinion, is co-citation. From what I'm seeing, everything is built upon co-citation. And co-citation is you have the backlinks, you have the website, you say, I am this person, here's who I am, here's what I do and where I do it. Now, it used to be the votes from online, hyperlinks back to the asset, that would reinforce who you are, what you do, and where you do it. Now I need to not only have the age and have the website that says it, not only do I need the backlinks that say it, but I also need multiple other assets online because of quantum processing. They're able to download the entire internet quickly, right? Very quickly, and understand everything all at once so fast that now I need not only the links, not only the site, not only the age, but I also need multiple other people saying, yep, that's who they are, that's what they do, and where they do it. And that's how you gain the AI overviews. In my opinion, that's what I see, and that's what I'm focused on.
But that, for me, Chris, still, in a way, constitutes as backlinks. To some degree, you need to be on another website. Now, you might not sell it as a backlink, but you're going to have to sell this as, we need Chris Palmer to be mentioned on this and this and this. So whether you call
Authority
it
mentions.
brand authority mention, call it
Right.
what you fucking like, because everyone assumes a backlink is a link, a guest post that points to Chris Palmer's fucking service page or whatever it may be. I think the narrative has to change, because that is, being on those other websites is super important, but it's not necessarily the link itself. It's the mention, it's the fact that that's a trusted authority, and multiple of these that are saying Chris Palmer's the best SEO in New York. That is what's needed, and that I would slightly guise it up, like you said, like brand authority building or whatever. It still comes under that kind of guise of backlinks or whatever, but it's changed slightly. So it's how you sell it is the main thing, and whether it's got a backlink or not, pointing to you, I still think that post saying Chris Palmer's the best SEO in New York, passing him value because it's that co-citation. So the backlink part is not deemed as important, but I would still have that in there anyway as part of because the problem is Google may come back to backlinks are, the weightage of these things change all the time. So yeah, I would just guise it up in that way, and I don't think it's pivoting towards alternative services. I think adapting the services to suit what is required for the here and now, and that the biggest problem when I audit people's businesses and see these websites falling off a cliff is around about the brand authority. There's no branded search. There's no EEAT. All of these kind of things, like Chris is saying, just to be very, very clear that is fucking co-citations or whatever you want to call it. And you need that shit to be done. End of story. And if it's not done, you ain't going to fucking rank that well. I'm sorry. Gone are the days of just going and paying to be on BuzzFeed, $10, MarketWatch, and all that stuff, and boom, your rankings go up. Things have changed slightly, man, and you've got to adapt.
Well, that could be one of the sources, but there is a hierarchy. I'm deep in this at this present moment, but I think not only do I need the link from category specific, but on that page where it's outlining a hierarchy of information, that hierarchy of information is really predicate, object. It's following a hierarchy of what is called a...
1 second.
I love it. Call. Go for it. Good. I would have cut me off there too. That's gold I was given.
Whoa.
Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Subject, predicate, object. So those are the 3 things you're trying to outline when you're getting your links. So if I were to get a backlink and it's coming back to my contact page or my homepage, well, what are we talking about that on that site? Well, I think, and we're testing this right now, I think if you go over to, and I'm just using Wikidata as an outline of hierarchy of structure and information, I think, did you ever notice this? Go over to Wikidata or look up what an RDF is and look at the hierarchy of information in order. Okay, here's their name. Here's what they do. Here's where they do it. Here's where they were schooled. Look at the exact order, right? And then look up any person you want that has any substance. Neil Patel. Who is Neil Patel? Who is Elon Musk? Who is whomever? And look at the order of how the results are laid out. And I guarantee you, it is identical to the hierarchy of how data is laid out on Wikidata or any other source, in my opinion. But
yeah.
This, who knows? I could be insane.
Nah,
I think I'm spot on.
The money. But a follow-up question: brandjacking, and how can it be specifically used in SEO? So obviously, when you talk about Neil Patel or Elon Musk, their brands are all over the place, and the top 3 or the top 5 pages are covered with all of their own assets. All of their LinkedIn's, their Twitters, their fucking YouTubes, their fucking carousels, PR, fucking speaking events, all of that kind of stuff. Now, I think that's really important, and the reason I'm going to come at this angle or so is so many fucking businesses do not do that, and they're not protecting their brand. So, for example, Chris Palmer, let's say he's not protecting his brand and his brand's kind of shitty online, and he's just got his chrispalmer.org and that's it. It would be so fucking easy for me to create another website and brandjack him and start to take some of his traffic and get people to sign up for my newsletter or for my services or whatever it may be. Like, I work in the iGaming space a lot. Now, we brandjack on other branded casino names and then get their customers to sign up for our offers. Why wouldn't you do that if they've left that wide open? That's why brand protection is a service that we would emphasize to anybody, whether you're a casino, whether you're Chris Palmer SEO, or whether you are Ursol. Someone can fucking use your brand against you and start brandjacking you. It's the same as the Hilton Hotel or whatever. Affiliates have come in over the years and they're brandjacking the shit out of this stuff. They're ranking well for it. They've got keyword-rich domains like HiltonGlasgow.com. And obviously that's against the affiliate terms, conditions, and things like that. But brandjacking's been a thing for many, many years. And even in 2025, I still see very, very big brands who have a very, very poor online presence. And like you're saying, Chris, not being on Wikidata, not being on Crunchbase, not fucking doing PR, not having all of that stuff leaves a gaping fucking hole for someone like you to come in and swoop up all of that traffic.
I agree. And the reason I only brought up Wikidata, I think, yeah, having that data there, but it's, that list, like look up a big dog, like Elon or Neil or anybody that has everything filled. When you look at that information, that list of info is what I feel needs to be reinforced on co-citation online. And that's the new link building right there, in my opinion. If I can reinforce that information, here's who they are, here's what they do, and here's where they do it. But while I'm reinforcing that, I also say, he's the best SEO. Well, he also had 100 clients, and here's their names, and here's what they said, right? Like, I think that's the wave. I think that's that's what's up next. And I like this angle, like you just said, like for the services, that's going to be the positioning. And dude, your boy was right at the forefront. He had a post on that at August 24th, 2024. Dolly, he's on it. These guys are slick, man. These guys are slick. I congratulations to him. I'm amazed by that.
He's a beast. He is.
Dude, he's a beast, dude. I love him.
He's a dude. You give him the slightest smidgen of information of what he needs to do, he's going to go away and do it like a fucking animal all night. I mean, he's relentless.
Like I remember, like I was figuring out the triples, and I was like, this doesn't make sense. But I remember like looking that up, and like he was already had a post, like he was trying to figure that out too, and I'm like, this guy, you know,
he's a smart guy. He acts up the old, Jack the Lad and all of that stuff. But he's a very, very smart guy, man, and
clever.
Hats off. I don't like saying these things about him. Absolutely not. But yeah, he's always in there or thereabouts, mate. He'll be doing something, and you're like, you bastard. Like there's a funny story, dude. Like me and him are very, very alike. And there was a time, I can't remember how many years ago it was, but it's when Google Autosuggest was kind of a big thing and all that. And this fucking Chinese guy phoned me and he went, "Hi Craig, I own this fucking service. It's Google Autosuggest. Do you want to try it out? I want you to do a video on it and all that kind of stuff. I want you to help me promote it." And I said, "Right, show me the fucking thing working. Go make Google Autosuggest say Craig Campbell is better than James Dooley." And the guy went, "No problem. Give me a few weeks and I'll get back in touch." A couple of weeks passes and I'm sitting outside a chip shop. I'll never forget it. And the phone goes and it's Dooley. And he says, "You motherfucker." And I'm like, "What? You fucking know what? What is it?" And he went, "You fucking know what?" I actually forgot about this fucking call. And I went, "What is it, mate?" And he went, "I've had this fucking Chinese guy on the phone offering me fucking Google Autosuggest." And the guy gave him the same pitch he's gave me. So Dooley's went, "Go fucking make it say James Dooley's better than Craig Campbell at SEO or whatever it was." And the guy went, "I'm sorry, Dooley, I can't do that." And he's like, "Why?" And he went, "Because Craig Campbell's asked me to do that against you." But you end up having these conversations with these dodgy guys and you're like, "You're a fucking dog. Why are you in this trench? Like, leave me with this one. Fuck off." But when you're down there and you're trying shit out, you always bump into Dooley. It's like going down a cave and this fucking guy's face is everywhere.
That's exactly it right there. Like man. You're in the trench and you're like, "How'd this guy get here? What's he doing?"
Dooley, fuck off the other trench and leave me alone, man. But dude, that's
it was like graffiti. It's like shit. You already tagged him here. Like, what's he doing?
There's so many times as well. Like I was in Dubai, and this guy reaches out to me and he's like, "Craig, can I meet you? I want to talk to you and all that. See if there's anything we can do together." So come along here. I'm going to be here. Let's have a beer. And and the guy's sitting and he's like, "Oh yeah, I know a few of your mates. I do work for this guy and that guy." And I'm like, Really? I'm like, and this guy was selling PBNs, by the way. And one of the guys he said, "One of your mates, you remember Paul Hogden who ran SEO Underground?" He says, "Paul Hogden buys from me all the time." And I'm like, "Nah, Paul's never bought a PBN in his life. He doesn't even know what a fucking PBN is. Paul's not a PBN guy. I refuse to believe it." Paul Hogden was up there like a rat up a drain pipe. But the guy says, I do all the fucking James Dooley stuff. And I'm like, "Nah, you don't." And anyway, I say, so I'm messaging Dooley and I said, Dooley, who does it? Your PBN? Oh, I don't do PBNs. I don't
Sure.
do PBNs. I said, mate, and I FaceTimed him and I went, Dooley, look who I'm with. And I flicked the fucking thing on.
What?
Dooley nearly fell off his chair. He said, how the fuck do you know that guy? I said, Dooley, I'm in this fucking cave again and your fucking face and your name keeps coming up.
Give up the
I
tape.
start talking. You're like, you motherfucker. He's like, but he says the same. He's like, Craig, how come you always walk in and somehow you fucking find this shit out? Like, you walk in the cave as well, and it's just really funny, man.
But it's always
it's just
in this space though. It's always the same group though. You know?
Yeah.
So I guess that's good.
Yeah. It's just funny. It's just funny because that's how like really stop fucking it. We'll help each other. Stop going into caves. Let's share information.
Stop going into
Let's
these caves
fucking help
without me.
Because I need
I'm
to
in
know
that one though. Yeah, I'm in there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what other parallel skill would you suggest to pivot to along with SEO? Pay-per-click has changed a lot too. That's really up to you, Saeed. Do you go down the rabbit hole of AI? Do you go down digital PR? Do you go down the route of something else? That social media. What do you enjoy? What the fuck do you enjoy? Like, people talk about AI and automation and how it's new and all that. I've always loved AI and automation, like for many, many years. I've used like Linked Helper just for automating LinkedIn and I'm just the guy that likes cheating and automation and tools and fucking shit like that. That's just in my nature. And it's the same as guys like Dooley or yourself. We are just fucking guys that are corrupt to the core, and we want to figure out a better way and a quicker way and a more efficient way of doing shit. If that's your thing, then maybe go down fucking the AI route and all that kind of stuff. But again, if that's not your thing and that doesn't excite you, go. There's so many different directions that you can go and become a broader marketer. You could become a funnel guy. If you enjoy creating funnels, you just become a brand guy, whatever. You don't have to be an SEO, or a pay-per-click guy. There's so many individual niches within that niche, that you can become. And
I like even what this gentleman's talking about, Saeed Ali. Sorry if I didn't pronounce your name right, but like, do I want to pivot from SEO or PPC? Is it a pivot, or are you just adding more stuff to your arsenal? Because really, whomever you're doing work with, if you're selling a service, they're buying a result. Really, all you're doing is getting more leads, more calls, more traffic, right? So we probably want to be able to offer them social media. Oh, you don't need that? How about SEO? You don't need that? How about PPC? You don't need that? How about I manage your social media? Just keep going in that circle, right? Generating leads.
We say that Chris Palmer, jokingly, is the cash and carry of SEO. Like, he just adds on all of the fucking stuff. But dude, you've got like every motherfucking thing is getting fucking on. You're like, fuck. It's like the fucking cash and carry of fucking. You want anything?
There's so many
see
little
Chris
things
Palmer.
that you need.
Yeah.
I know. Customers. I know.
Dude, I was also thinking, like, when thinking of going to your services to see for the person to sort out down there for me, a urologist. I was going to say, this motherfucker's probably the urologist on here as well.
I might.
But dude, I'm not joking. You know Kazbula, right? That motherfucker said, I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get this fucking thing done quickly. I'm trying to get it done privately. I want to pay a guy just to fucking fix this tomorrow. And casually, I know a guy. And then I thought, get fucked, Casual. You don't know any guys that are legit, man. Like, fuck off. You don't tell me you know a guy. I'm like, dude, that could be the local butcher. Like, I need a legitimate professional guy. But Casual's like, yeah, I know a guy.
You might know a guy. That's not my guy.
I don't
give me his name anyway, just so I know.
This guy ain't playing my little seed. No.
Yeah, no.
But Robert Thomas is saying, as an example of a co-citation having the social mentions and third-party reviews referring to the
Definitely.
brand.
That's a piece.
Yeah,
It's a part.
absolutely.
Yep.
You know, it's more, whether it be social mentions, blog posts, reviews, fucking listicles, whatever. If people are on there saying that you're the best things in sliced bread, we need more of it on every fucking place. Social media, videos, fucking blog posts, magazines, anything, man. Anything you can get your dirty hands on.
Subject, predicate, object. Subject, predicate, object. How can I reinforce those three things online? Brand mentions are great. That's it right there. That's what you're trying to splatter everywhere, in my opinion.
Yeah. And yeah, this is exactly it. Like it's a PR issue. On the mastermind, I was talking about you know, Randy, the news guy. You know, Randy does syndicated PR blast, right? Now, yes, you could look at that and say, when you pay for this, you get 500 links, and that's something you can sell as a deliverable to the client. Now, I think people like Randy's services are now going to go tenfold because it's helping feed the LLMs, it's brand mentions, it's even more important than it was before. And it's how you pitch that now, because I've done stuff with Randy and it's got into the AI overview within an hour. You know, it's exactly how it works. And they're pulling, the LLMs are pulling that shit from the high profile PR that these guys are getting. And you know, it's that simple and that easy. It really is. And I think, you know, guys like Randy, although he's a sponsor of the YouTube channel, I think guys like him and services like that are becoming even more important than they were previously. And I think I've said to Randy on the side, I'm like, dude, you need to emphasize this is not just about links anymore. This is about co-citations, brand mentions, LLMs, feeding the LLMs, and all of this kind of stuff. And, you know, even on top of that, when Randy's doing his PR, he's then automating that stuff and sending it out as a podcast as well.
Yeah.
So that goes out as a podcast. So you're also getting the fucking you're getting mentioned on these powerful podcast fucking platforms and all of this kind of bollocks as well. Now you're not actually really creating the podcast. He's just sending that, distributing it out to that.
That's right.
Yeah. And again, that is going to help with that is what the LLMs are fucking pulling up on. And it's like mass spam.
That's
if you want to call it that, of your brand.
Thank you.
Out as many places as you fucking can. And that is the goal. And you know, the more of it is what you need, and that is it.
That right there, that's
but
Craig, you are right on it, my friend.
Oh, I know.
All over. You get 10, 20 Google accounts, then you got your KLM, that notebook. Why would they transcribe all that information for free? And then I got my podcast syndicate. And then on top of it, YouTube gives you a free podcast. So you mean to tell me that I can say whatever I want and you're going to transcribe it, and then I can take that and duplicate it into 500 more podcasts that are all unique? And you're going to eat all that information? Friends.
Here's the thing, Chris. I'll tell you something that's really fucking right. So I was on ChatGPT, right? And I was using the deep research part, and I was asking it things about me, and I'm like, can you confirm that Craig has a son called Charlie? Now, when the LLMs are doing deep research, they confirmed that I had mentioned in a previous YouTube video I had a son called Charlie. They're like, Craig categorically has a son called Charlie because he mentioned, and it even gave me the snippet of exactly what I fucking said.
The timestamp. Yeah, they know exactly.
So me mentioning that Chris Palmer's got a small cock right now,
it's going to show up.
It's going to show up somewhere. And if we keep saying it, if we keep fucking saying it,
it's huge. All over the place. You can barely hold it up.
Then it's going to stick to the fucking listening, the deep research. Go fucking look at what deep research does, what it's scraping. The motherfucker is listening to everything, and it's checking, sitting, coming back, going, absolutely, categorically, Craig has confirmed on this date, at this time, on this interview, he has a son and he called him Charlie. Here it is.
But
here's
see,
the fucking stamp.
And then when I talk to other guys or business owners, see, I think you get it. Like you just saying it once on that one podcast, that's not it. But how many times has it been reinforced? And boom, that's what clicks. Like, okay, you initiated it there, but then it probably shows up in other podcasts, maybe on other channels. Like, where else have you talked about it? Who knows? Then on Facebook.
What they were doing.
Exactly.
So it said Craig has mentioned that he's got a newborn son in 2019 when Charlie was born. So the deep research was checking that. It was then checking this, that, and it was piecing it all together. And it's going categorically based on this, this, and this.
We say yes.
This is his son, and that is his fucking age and everything. That is how
it works.
These fucking
and
things
then
are working.
You know that, you can feed it then. Yep.
Yeah, but you need to then think about what you're fucking feeding it. Think about what you're saying. Think about maybe what you don't want people to know as well. So, yeah.
But yeah, I agree. What's that mean? I wonder. Does that mean we're awesome? Thank you. Thank you.
I'll take it.
I have to look that up.
Mr. McGill here. SEO was about getting to the top of the list. Generative engine optimization was about getting into the answer. Been saying it for ages. Does my head in when people don't see it. There are now two webs, one for humans and one for crawlers, for SEO or chatbots. So, yeah, but it's all about mass spam. As Robert Thomas says, throw your fucking name around anywhere you fucking can.
Exactly. It's mass spam. It's the new link building. It's mass spam link building, but you're not building actual links. Exactly. Yes, I agree. It's code citation.
Mass spamming, telling people what a fucking great guy you do, what you do, how you can help them, and how big your ding-a-ling-ding is, and all of that kind of stuff. Build that shit up, man, all the time, because if you don't, someone will feed it some shit about you.
That's like us guys right now, like in 5 years from now, that AI and how they're transcribing won't be free anymore. Like they'll have everything already. Yep. Because this is the early stages. How long has it been out? 5 years? 4 years?
Yeah. And Robert Thomas is saying, should we stack our links to mass spam entities one to another? You don't need to. So, like, the whole thing with EAT and knowledge panels and everything else, Robert, is you have an About Me page on your website, right? And you can have all of your social profiles, all of the important entities, your Crunchbase, your this, your that, and basically you're joining the dots from your homepage saying, this is the same Craig Campbell that has all of these social profiles, that has been on all of these PR articles, that has this Amazon book, that has this, this, and this. You don't need to stack them. You need to have a homepage, or an about, not your homepage, but a hub of who the fuck you are, where you've been listed, and join it all together, wrap it up in schema and say, this Chris Palmer is the fucking motherfucker that's been here, and build that about us page to show Google, this is the fucking man, and this is all the shit, and it's the same guy, so there's no confusion. So rather than stacking, you're basically joining the dots for them on that about page. So if you go to my About Me page, it will say things like, I went to so-and-so a school, and here's my fucking Amazon author profile, here's my YouTube, here's my IMDb, here's my fucking Crunchbase. I know that no one gives a fuck. Like, you don't care what my fucking Crunchbase looks like. No one gives a fuck.
Google does.
But Google does. So that's why it's on there. It's been fed from a Google perspective. And like Craig McGill says, you know, I know that human beings couldn't give a fuck what school I went to. No one gives a fuck about anything. You know, but I care that my brand is known around the internet, and that's why I'll feed it all of that kind of bollocks, because Neil Patel or all of these kind of guys, it tells you what fucking school they went to. And you're going, well, I'm fucking telling it what school I went to as well. These are the yeah, I'll tell it whatever I feel like telling it, whatever I see the big dogs doing.
And then too, like if you're thinking about that hierarchy, Like Google doesn't really do it. But if you're curious of how, like, you see these new thinking models, like you see how they put the pieces together, like you're talking about stacking entities. I forget who asked. You're stacking information entities. And that's exactly what you're doing. Entities is a key word here. But if you go over to Grok thinking and watch how it pieces it together, like just watch it. Like that's who you're playing against. There's the robot. There's a good identifier of how the robot is thinking and how they piece stuff together. Look where it pulls from. Now how many times can I go out there and reinforce what it's pulling? I'm with you, Craig. I'm with you.
But this is funny. So Craig McGill saying you lot would get shot in corporate comms. It's not spam. It's broad audience outreach and
like
validation. See, the thing is, I like that
good.
by the way as well. But we would absolutely get killed in the corporate world. But I had an argument. I had this guy, right, who I was friends with, and he worked for a very, very high profile company. Like, I'm talking about one of the biggest companies in the world. Now, we were arguing who was the best SEO, like just jokingly. And I'm like, mate, you're not even a real SEO. And he's like, how do you figure that out? I said, mate, you're a fucking politician. You're in your boardroom meetings, fucking throwing fancy words around, and then having steak dinners, fucking wanking each other off to talk about budgets and all that stuff. You would know how to fucking spam this or break that or blow this or blow that. It's two different games. You're a fucking politician. You're not even an SEO. And you're right. We would get fucking killed. Imagine us walking in
with my shoes on,
going, we need to do this and we need to fucking spam the fuck out of that. And I'm going to fucking manipulate the LLM. You fucking be like,
get these guys out of here.
Criminal, man. Who is this criminal? But that's why I have always steered clear of that corporate bullshit, Craig. It's easier just to make money.
It took me a long time.
And you don't care enough. I am not accepting this one, Craig. I've actually just changed my Facebook fucking thing. You know that people actually count. When I go to conferences now, people fucking count how many times I'm going to swear
part of the brand
in a presentation. I have won awards for being the guy that says the most fucking words. Now, I was in Chiang Mai, Thailand, about 2 years ago, and I'm speaking there. Dude, the word tits, bukkake, motherfucker. There was a list of them, and people were like, Craig, how the fuck did you get all of that into a 30-minute presentation?
That was light work.
Like, did you just stand
you were on your best behavior?
But you've some of them I rein it in, but dude, if you've seen me live, Craig McGill, fuck me, you would, dude. The guy in the Philippines. Remember the guy in the fucking Philippines a few months ago stood up on stage after me, and he actually apologized to the audience for burning their ears the way that I was swearing. He's like,
and in India
hell,
too, they heard like,
it's not fucking good, but
good for us.
So I think I could maybe fit into that corporate comms, Craig. I don't know. The one thing I don't have is like see this fucking broad audience outreach and all this fucking patter. I've not got enough of that vocabulary, and I love that shit because there was a guy, Nerdy Romero. He's in my mastermind, and the one that sticks to me, it's fucking amazing. He said, "Craig, can we talk more about unnatural GMBs?" No. And I'm like, what do you mean unnatural GMBs? He went, unnatural GMBs, and I'm like, well, you mean a fake GMB? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, I love that unnatural GMB. Dude, I've actually got a fucking notepad here with certain greasy. We call that grease. Grease. That's greasy words. If we hired you, Craig McGill, I've got a few guys in Glasgow as well. They would be saying, Craig McGill's greasing that guy up. If you were using this broad audience outreach, they would sit there. Slaughter and all that would be sitting and be going, I'm fucking stealing that, dude. They're like, this is the fucking best grease I've ever fucking heard. We call that grease, but it's fucking brilliant. But we're not good at it. We're not
guys like us.
See,
I hear those kinds of words, and I think somebody's trying to pull a fast one on me. Other people hear it and they're like, oh, this guy's polished. He's great. Right? Yeah. I think, oh, man, this guy's up to something.
Dude, you know who's the best fucking grease ball that I've ever fucking seen? SEO Jesus.
Oh,
SEO Jesus, dude. Oh,
yes.
dude, he's got the posh accent, the fucking vocabulary, the fucking public school boy, the fucking words flow. Dude, he wears a three-piece suit. Dude, the best fucking... And we had it in our group chat the other night, and I messaged him, I'm like, Vickers, this will never fucking be beaten. Vickers was sitting in a bathtub in Dubai, overlooking Dubai, in a bath full of fucking petals. Now, dude, not only that, right? That was greasy enough. He had a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Now he's naked in this bath, and his Rolex watch was on show, but it was covering his cock. And I'm like, nothing's beating that. Petals, wine,
This is
and the fucking
all the visuals of success.
No one's gonna
Buy
beat
my
this, man.
cards.
This is not and I'm like,
I would run.
I'm messaging him. I'm
I'm
like,
outta
Vic,
here.
you've won. We're all done. And
done.
Kaz just messaged me. He's like, tell me something I can do to beat that. And I'm like,
Can't beat
dude,
that.
no one's beating Vickers. You cannot fucking beat that. The petals.
You were leaning on
and all
the
that.
Corvette. That was cool. But this is too
Yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. No, the petals. Dude, check his fucking thing. In fact, I'll send you later. Petals, dude. Petals in a bath. No one's going to beat
that's
that,
good.
man. It is
That's good.
fucking grease galore, man. That was good, man. Like, but like when we sit Slaughter and all that, and we see someone on LinkedIn, we've got a group chat, and they're just like, look at this grease, and they sit killing themselves laughing at it, and they take notes. They're like,
He's
I'm
got the
taking this.
pitch. Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah.
So
the skill, nah.
um,
You got that pitch down though, my friend.
yeah. So yeah, we need to get that fucking night out, Miguel, because I want to hear some of this fucking grease, and I'll introduce you to some of these guys. I mean, the guys that I know are rough as fuck. You know, they talk like me and Chris, but we need some grease. There's got to be a mutual night out where we can fucking steal from you and you can steal
We'll give
from
you
us.
the information. You give me how to package it up nicer.
Yeah. It's win-win.
Here's what works. How do I say it a little nicer?
By the way, Craig McGill says this. I'll tell you a fun story about Craig McGill before we wrap up. So a few years ago, I took this guy Nigel Farage's domain name. I've told the story a million times, different conferences. And I said to McGill, so McGill, he's big in the PR world and all that. And I'm like, McGill, I need to get this fucking thing in the paper. This Nigel Farage story and all this fucking stuff. And McGill fucking writes this story. And the first story, dude, called Nigel Farage a Muppet. It was like abusive to her. Look at this. What I don't know if Muppet's the right word, but Nigel Farage the Muppet let his domain name go. There was no grease going on there.
That was right through it.
That was like the fucking. But I tried to put that out through one of the news wires, and the news wires are like,
no way. A Muppet.
No fucking way. They're like, change the vocabulary on there. So
you're funny.
Yeah, not fun.
That was fun. Oh, this was fun today. We barely any questions, but we had a lot of fun. I did.
Yeah.
Who's there? Who are you with?
The wife and son.
And Slory?
No, Slory's
I thought you said wife and Slory. I'm like, oh, jeez.
Son.
Good.
Son.
Awesome.
Charlie boy. But, guys, we are finished. And we will catch you at the same time next week.
See you next week.